All right, welcome to the Policy Committee of the Athens in Motion Commission. Hope everyone is doing well. Our agenda tonight includes coming back to the Complete Streets policy rewrite working on for a while now. We have two more sections to review and we'll discuss our next steps. And then we have another agenda item about the Firefly Trail alternates that have been proposed. And I'm suggesting that we look at it from the vantage point of our role as Athens in Motion commissioners. Else we need to add to the agenda? Okay. I guess that constitutes as an approval. I don't know if we need to vote on that. So let's come back to the Complete Streets policy rewrite, which I will need to pull. Oh, here it is. How convenient. So going this section by section as a group after initial review, I reached out to the Diversity and Inclusion Office about reviewing, about a possibility of looking at our equity follow up. I know staff is really busy and that we're still in the middle of the pandemic. So, and now we're approaching the holiday season. So I'll reach out again.
And Lauren, I did reach Crystal earlier today. So I will, and just to remind her about this, she said exactly what you said. She's catching up on things. I'm going to talk with her tomorrow to get her kind of comfortable with everything during the day. And then I said basically what you just said, that you'll probably reach out to her in a short while and figure out a day for her to join us.
I want to be able, I want to make sure that it's in the board. If an email conversation is better, if she wants to look at it ahead of time, or if being in a meeting is more efficient, I'm happy to do whatever works best for her. Thank you for reaching out, Stephen.
Okay.
Section we were working on, I hope I got this right, was implementation and performance measures. Does that sound right from y'all's recollection? Okay. Let me make so we were kind of going through this line by line. We can continue that. So the director of the Department of Transportation and Work shall be responsible for adherence to the Complete Streets policy through the works of bike, pedestrian, see that position's adherence. Sound okay? Anything?
Yes.
Right about that?
And this is just technical, just make sure that there's bike ped coordinator is always capitalized. I think it's like half and half throughout the document. So that might be just something to go back and glance through.
Yeah, we'll need to do a complete, cleanup of this document before we go public with it.
We need to, you need consistent with it, or it's always capitalized?
Both.
I think we may have temporarily lost Stephen here. Oh, are you there, Stephen?
I can hear you all. I'm having trouble with hearing Lauren.
Sorry.
She was asking if does it need to be capitalized throughout, or does it just need to be consistent? It can be under or lowercase, or?
Since it's an official title, I'd rather it be capitalized throughout.
Okay, thanks.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to leave my camera off. That helps with our connection.
Sure.
Next line. Support and receive implementation and adherence. Okay. So the membership body should increase to 9 members from 7.
My only comment there was it might just be wording. It says, I'll start in the middle of that sentence. It should increase to 9 members from 7. Ensure representation from an array of what I believe should then say an array of stakeholder groups representing bicyclists, transit users, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of stakeholders from groups, it should be stakeholder groups.
That look right? Stakeholder groups.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, and I like the comma that you added.
Okay. Yeah, are we making this, are we going to write something up to the mayor and commission about increasing our members?
I think we should.
Okay. I almost feel like that's not really a complete street thing. It's more about the commission and the bylaws of the commission.
It's a good point. Should that even be in here?
Maybe it goes in the cover letter that we send with it.
Or even just a separate, just a separate, whole separate issue. Yeah.
I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to do it as a recommendation and say, let's put this in a different document as a formal motion to MNC. Okay, next item, the bike ped coordinator will biannually review complete streets policy. Any revisions will be presented to and approved by for approval.
Does it need to be biannually, or can it be just sort of an ongoing thing? You know, like if she's working on a project and comes up on a wrinkle that doesn't really work, then she would bring it to us to talk it through and, you know, maybe revise the policy.
Yeah. When we're saying biannually, we mean twice a year.
That's what it
seems like a
seems to me.
lot.
It does. And I think that putting it on a rigid schedule like that is like, doesn't really make any sense.
Well, I don't know, should we just do annually? I feel like there should be some type of guideline for making sure that this is reviewed.
Maybe in our annual meeting, you know, where we summarize what we've done for the year, like we did a couple weeks ago. Make that be part of that.
I'm fine with it being on their own timeline. I don't know. Maybe staff seem pretty busy, and maybe the end of the year for our annual review is a busy time for them. So maybe
Maybe just
especially,
maybe as needed. You know, maybe that's just part of the job, is to make sure that the complete streets policy actually works, and if it doesn't work, you know, recommend how to tweak it.
And
Well, remember that when we get down to section 9, we also talk about an annual. In some cases, it says annual. In other cases, it says every other year of a complete streets evaluation report. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you want to combine those into something that's something standard, or if these need to be staggered at different points.
Yeah. What do y'all think about combining those two things? Is that too much, or does that make sense?
I think it makes sense, because I think, the less bureaucracy we build into this, the more likely it will be successful.
Review and update its policy on an annual basis with the review of complete streets. What does it say?
I think they called it a complete streets evaluation report.
Streets. Where is it? Next section.
Yeah, I don't see it capitalized. It just says annual evaluation and report. Okay. None of it's complete streets is capitalized. Okay. That's that's it.
Roll so much into that. Any revisions will be presented to and approved by the mayor and commission. Oh.
Right.
All right. Item 4. Unified government shall review and modify its procedures, documents within 2 years of the effective date of this resolution. I wonder, was this one of the items Hillary said we don't get to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she didn't like it.
Yeah, because this sounds like
you could change it to TPW if you wanted to. I think that's something that's going to be the responsibility of the bike ped coordinator anyway, to make sure that we are all following that task. Mm-hmm. You could say TPW shall, if you wanted to fit in a line that says, the rest of the municipalities encouraged to, you could. But really, I think the goal is getting all of our procedures, documents, training, et cetera, tied to complete streets completely.
Right. Well, if you guys are doing everything according to complete streets, then the people that go out and do the work are going to be following what you say. So, yeah.
Okay.
My guess is that the reason behind making this broad and not just transportation and public works is that that so much of this involves multiple departments, like leisure services and the SPLOST office. So then, Stephen, your idea was to say like other ACC departments are encouraged to do this as well.
That's right.
This as well.
And you could even say within the same time frame.
Realize that I'm nodding and you guys can't see me nod. I'm like looking at you very enthusiastically and you can't see it. All right. And then coming back down to item 5. Yes, 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 yes. Design standards. Public commentary, period. Yes, Lori was great at doing this. Design guidelines. Anything to add or change here?
I made a comment in a number of sections that mentioned public commentary, period. Do you want to relate back to the standard that Hillary got approved, the public engagement strategy document?
Yes,
Or do you want to leave it more? Okay.
Well, she spent a lot of time on that, and it was it's very reinvent the wheel. It's definitely a great thing that she has left us with.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the formal name we were using for it, Stephen?
So it was originally called the Athens in Motion Public Engagement Strategy, but we've really formally adopted it for TPW in general. So it can be called AIM/TPW Public Engagement Strategy. Either way, it's been called both.
Following the okay.
You can even say following the approved. You can even say following the approved AIM TPW because it was something that went through Mayor Commission.
Yes, yes. The public commentary period following the approved AIM TPW public engagement strategy during the development phase and opportunities for public comment through ongoing use. Yes. Yeah, that was a great. That was a great idea, Stephen. Thank you for reminding us of that great document. All right. The Department of Public Works. I want to here. We need a glossary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the beginning, you should have something that defines all the alphabet soup.
Yeah. Point. We've defined it, so we can just say TPW here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
TPW shall fund and encourage staff professional development training to be fully conversant about complete streets issues. Conversant. I don't think that's a word I've ever used before. Cool. Including motorized and non-motorized transportation. Yes, yes. Staff working.
After transportation.
Say that again?
A comma after transportation. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Look, non-motorized transportation conferences. Right. Forget I said anything.
Okay.
I think non-motorized should be hyphenated.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Does this sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, my only comment is yes and excellent. I think that's we absolutely want to put funding and resources toward that kind of development.
Yeah. So y'all have a training budget, right? Do we need to or like the ACCUG shall provide funding for TPW?
That'd be great. I don't think that they would. I think we're probably fine on that.
Okay.
My goal, which I was successful in last year, was actually doubling our training budget for each division, and part of that was with that goal for the new bike ped coordinator. So I think we're probably good for now.
I'm so glad to hear that. In higher education, sometimes it's been difficult to secure training for staff. So I'm really happy to hear that. Transportation planning and engineering consultants shall be selected only if they are implementation of cost-effective, practical projects that create complete streets consistent with this complete policy. Any issues with that?
Yeah, I want to rewrite this a bit.
Okay.
from staff side. So and feel free to tweak this, but what I wrote was transportation planning and engineering consultants shall be evaluated and selected based on their leadership and implementation of cost-effective, et cetera. That it being said, it would certainly be a criteria that we need to add to every one of our requests for bid or for consultants. I don't know if we can make a blanket statement that says that we will throw out an application if they can't prove themselves to be a complete streets leader.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What does that look like? Tell me your statement again. Shall be evaluated and selected based on
their leadership. So change the word leader to leadership.
Okay.
Based on their leadership in influence. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I like the word. I like it being leadership.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else here? Number 8. All right. So it looks like we had shall, and this got changed to encouraged too.
This may be one of the ones that Hillary wasn't thrilled about.
Yeah, and I have a note from her, which I agree with. That was that section A there is a pretty broad decree. I agree with it, but I'm unsure how much weight that actually carries to say, the county as a whole will further prioritize complete streets equity. I think the second sentence there, absolutely, transportation project evaluation criteria shall include complete streets factors. I just don't know if that first sentence really will hold much weight.
Well, yeah, I think we don't need it because Complete Streets is part of Athens in Motion, and Athens in Motion has that philosophy built in.
Yeah.
Well, Complete Streets, it's not, we're writing it, but it's not really Athens in Motion. It's beyond us.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to find the sentence you guys were talking about because I was going back and forth between the two.
The first sentence.
Okay. So yeah, let's start with the first sentence.
And I meant 8A, so the one that says ACCUG will further prioritize.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just delete the first sentence.
Well, couldn't we try to think something that's not so concrete, but also communicates that this is a priority, or at least, we'll try to be a priority for. Could we even say we'll seek to prioritize complete streets? I know that's not so. It's.
Yeah, that's sure. I get your point, Aaron, that we want to make sure that we realize this has to do with focusing on underserved neighborhoods. And I think it comes up a few times in the policy, but doesn't hurt to reiterate. If you want to say seek, that could work.
Are you guys okay with that?
I'm a little concerned because I think the idea was to have pretty concrete language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we want concrete where possible.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Transportation nerd jokes. Okay. Yeah.
But Stephen, you think there's going to be problems with getting that?
I just don't see, that first sentence is great as a statement. I just don't see that it leads to you know, it's concrete, or, you know, as we want to be. I don't know that it actually pushes for anything in particular. The second sentence does. The second one, absolutely. What that operationally says is that every future evaluation and criteria scoring will include a complete streets factor. So that's that's an absolute thing that will happen. The first sentence really just doesn't say much.
I don't think it fits in this document.
Well, I mean, there was just something that we because of like equity and inclusion, and we did want to make a statement, or at least try not just a statement, but try to emphasize that. Well, I'm trying not to look backwards, but trying to look forwards. That you know, there still exists a lot of inequities in terms of transportation and complete streets in town, and trying to you know, bring equality to this in terms of community wide. That certain parts of town aren't being not being emphasized, but that certain parts of town that were left and de-emphasized in the past will be brought up to parity here, I guess.
Maybe just add to the sentence, you know, transportation project evaluation, blah, 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 prioritization for capital planning documents should, with an emphasis on creating equity or something like that.
Well, and I don't know if it's helpful, but in section 9, there's a lot that talks about equity and equity standards with complete streets. So
I feel like it just doesn't belong in 8.
Say that again, Teresa.
I don't think that sentence really belongs in 8. You know, I think that this is talking about funding sources, looking for funding, and then investing in neighborhoods. Okay, but evaluation and criteria scoring shall include complete streets factors as a prioritization criteria for capital planning documents. I think that's pretty good. And then when we get to the next part, we talk about equity. I heard a great definition of equity the other day, not to digress, but equality is where everybody gets the same thing, and equity is where everyone gets what they need.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Right.
Great.
And yeah, I guess we talked before, and we did want to make sure that all parts of town get what they need, and in terms of a lot of them not having it currently.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't see something as definitive in 9. I'm not saying I'm saying, could we add this to 9, or at least put in some of this language in 9 to make it a little more definitive?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get why it's tied to that sentence, that second sentence, because if you just said transportation project evaluations and criteria scoring shall include complete streets factors, the sentence before it tells you why that's important, right? Because those complete street factors prioritize equity and help to serve the most underserved in our community. So I get why it's tied there. I don't know if maybe you could combine those sentences, maybe to say, you know, the operational piece first that says the project evaluation shall include, but somehow build in why that's important because of equity.
I'm going to read this thing from the beginning.
Maybe it's shall include complete streets and equity factors as a prioritization, or equity factors to help invest in projects in neighborhoods that have traditionally been underserved.
Okay. Yeah, I like the sound of that.
That's better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Equity factor. What did you say
and then
again?
you just kind of, sure. So it can be complete street equity factors that invest in projects in neighborhoods that have been traditionally underserved by the county.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Okay. I'm trying to read, analyst,
Rather than
and think.
It's hard. Rather than traditionally, would historically be better?
Yes.
Sure.
Historic. How about have historically or been historically? Um, yeah.
Historically been underserved, I think.
Have been historically underserved. We don't need been. Or have.
And
yeah.
Once you finish that, I have one more change to that.
Okay, that historically been underserved.
Or have been historically underserved.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. I mean, either way, it's the same.
So the one change is after factors that. The factors themselves won't invest in projects, so it would be something like factors that prioritize investing or factors that lead to investing, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That prioritize investing projects. Okay.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do we need the first sentence? And
yeah, I was just looking at how much. Okay, so what? Sorry.
I was just saying at 8A, do we still need that first sentence?
Oh, no, I don't think we do.
So let's just strike that.
Yep.
Cool.
Got it.
All right, now I have one other question, and it's just a little picky one. Do we need an 8A, or can we just tack that last sentence onto 8?
Makes sense to me.
Okay, but that changed.
It's actually 9.
That change didn't work right. Undo.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. All right. Yeah.
Oh, just making that. Okay.
Matting.
Dang it. Move me
you could
to.
turn off track changes for a minute.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing.
Move me up. Or is there like a whatchamacallit, a bulleting function or something that you can turn off?
Yeah,
Just
I run into this all the time when we're writing like agenda items for the commission. We have a template that does not like changing between types of bullets and things. So I just turn off track changes.
It's a parenthetical after complete streets project that says just remove the little a.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Move little a, just right where your cursor is right now, where it's blinking.
Just
there
we go. It worked.
It worked. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Y'all, okay, so we have, there's 3 more items, and then I don't think we're going to get to our performance management. I spent some time talking about trail alternate routes and see if we want to come up with a recommendation. How do y'all feel about this?
So I have a few comments on number 9, 10, and 11, but if we want to get to, I want to be respectful of the rest of the time for other items too.
Yeah.
Do you want to email them to us? Your suggestions?
I
Sure.
think it will. Sorry, I think it will take a minute to go over the Firefly. I think maybe we should hold this off till later.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that okay? Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
And
This takes
before we
time.
jump over, just a reminder that as soon as we feel good about this draft, there are a few points on there that I do need to run by Blaine. So when we're good with the draft, that'll be the next step is for us to bring it to him.
Right. Right.
Okay.
There's also from the American, where are they? There are some other parties who would like to, who have offered to look over this with us. So before we run it by Blaine, Blaine, did I spell your name right? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Also have offered to look at it, so we can do that too. We're getting close.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, 16 minutes. All right. Firefly Trail alternates. Okay. Here's the deal. I sent y'all guys some stuff in our email. I know Aaron has looked over it. Teresa, have you had a chance to look over, and are you familiar with what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carol and I had a chance to go out to Winterville on Sunday. The property owners, they were very gracious and let us kind of go along option, what is being proposed as option A for the trail following the rail bed. And a couple of commissioners were there, including Commissioner Davenport, that's his district, Commissioner Link, Commissioner Thornton, and then, of course, Commissioner-elect Myers. Carol was there. And then some Mark Roston from the Firefly Trail was there, as well as John Cassane. I think that's everyone besides some of the property owners. So we can get caught up in what's fair or right to the property owners, but I want to look at this from the perspective of our role as Athens in Motion commissioners concerned with transportation, connectivity, and safety.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to the mayor and commission to decide what will be the best route, and they'll look at it from a property owner perspective, but I don't think that is our role here. Aaron, what are your thoughts about that approach? Because you've had a chance to look at this a bit more.
Yeah, and I know. I understand the property owner's concerns, but this is a major transportation project that affects the entire county, and of course, I just don't think it's a good either B or C are good alternatives for this, both for usability nor for safety of users. So that's why I would be recommending that we stick with A, following the original rail bed. And I know that Lauren, I sound like a broken record because you've heard me talk about this before. I did put in my public comment too, but this is much like if they were to go with A or B, or sorry, B or C, it would be much like the Greenway when they had to divert it around a property over off MLK and it followed down Willow Street. You had to cross College there. It wasn't clear. It became a glorified sidewalk. People didn't use it. I worked for the county, then worked for the Greenway. Nobody used that section because it was hard to follow and you had to cross busy streets there. Now that the county has gotten that property owner several years ago on board and it follows the river like it was originally intended, a lot of people are using it. So I foresee the same situation happening here if it was moved over along Moores Grove Road.
So, Aaron, do we have any idea of and of what the daily volume of bicycle and pedestrian traffic might be?
Where at?
And in that stretch of the Firefly, I mean, is there any way to estimate it?
I don't know honestly what the county has done. Stephen, I don't know if there's been projected user numbers here for this. I don't know personally.
Not that I've seen, but I can certainly ask.
Okay.
I mean, I guess what I'm feeling sensitive to is those. Is it like 3 property owners that are concerned?
6, is that right, Lauren?
Yeah, there was grouping of them. In particular, option A involves we'll take out one of their buildings behind their property. It's just a matter of deciding like which one. But and then there's some other property owners here, but also along with property owners along option A who are concerned about privacy and having something behind a house that wasn't there before. There are several properties along alternate B facing the street who are concerned about losing some of their front yard. And then even there are property owners here. And Derek Doster, during the info session yesterday, look out, kitty. During the info session yesterday, said that there would be effects for the property owners at C because they would have, because of where the ditch is located, you would have to go more into the private property and not just the easement.
So clearly option A is the best option, but there's some opposition, which is not unfounded. I mean, I totally understand where those property owners are coming from. It is a right of way, so the county can just go in there and build it, right?
Well, it's pretty complicated, and it would this is kind of getting a little bit outside of our role, but there would be a condemnation process, which would be lengthy, and the Firefly Trail Board has to think about the future of the trail beyond Athens-Clarke County, which is outside of our jurisdiction, because they're trying to build something that will go all the way to Union Point. So they got 2 more counties, and they're concerned about that. And of course, the Mayor and Commission, they're also, no one here in Athens-Clarke County likes to strong arm anything. I think that we're very sensitive, that staff is very cognizant of the concerns. But I think all of that is really outside of our role. I think that we should, as sensitive as we feel about property owners and whatnot, what we should do is focus on what is the route, where does it go, what are the ramifications for users.
Right. And clearly, and I'm not a user. I hope to be one someday, but
yeah.
Clearly the preferred route is alternative A. I would, as an older lady, I would feel much safer on a trail that did not intersect in multiple ways with vehicular traffic.
Yeah. So,
question: Have
yes,
folks
please.
even brought up that? I mean, options alternate C. You're looking at like basically a mid-block crossing on a rural to suburban road with a, I don't know what the ADT is, but the traffic there. I mean, I've ridden my bike on that. It's pretty fast. I mean, is it 50 or 45? But people are probably going.
It's 50.
It's 50.
Yeah, that's not.
It's a lot of. I mean, when I've been out there on the weekends, I see a lot of, or in the evenings, like after work, a lot of heavier trucks or people with trailers, like lawn services, folks like that. So a mid-block crossing there does not, and this is what I wrote in my public comment, a mid-block crossing does not seem, unless you're willing to change the, I don't want to say functional class, but you're willing to change the, do more work on the actual roadway to change basically what it is, take it from like a rural road to maybe more of a suburban sort of 35-mile-an-hour collector. But that's not what it is really. That's not the, it serves a function to connect Winterville basically to State Route 72, which is why you see all that traffic, because people are using that to kind of cut across from 72 to go towards Oglethorpe County, going through like Winterville proper. That's my ham-fisted attempt at understanding why it's so trafficked. But yeah, the mid-block crossing there just seems like a bad idea unless from a user and a safety perspective, unless you really can change the way that road currently operates, which is why if A is just simply not possible, it seems like B, though not great, is 100% more, a better option, because at least you get the crossing of Moore's Grove at the signalized intersection at the 5 Points meeting,
Right.
down where the trail ends now. As much as it's a pain because you have to cross a bunch of driveways and all that. So sorry for
There are lots of hazards involved in B and C for your bicycle user.
Yeah, and for walkers, just because I run a lot in neighborhoods and people backing out of driveways, I've had many close encounters too, and you're going to have that a lot with B or C.
Right.
Yeah.
Which kind of defeats the purpose of the greenway.
Yeah.
So just to some insight, as Elliot said, this road, its nature is it's a collector. I didn't realize that's what it was, so thank you for providing that perspective, Elliot. I did bike it recently just to get a feel for it, and it's rough. And Commissioners Davenport, Link, and Commissioner-elect Myers and I kind of stood here at the corner to just kind of get a feel for this. And staff, they don't want to do a mid-block crosswalk. This was the closest they could get because there's a road here. And we could hardly hear each other talk. A neighbor came over to us and said, "Oh yeah, this road, the speed limit is too fast."
Yeah.
As a reminder, even though this is a locally road, we do not set the speed limit. So if we were trying to reduce the speed here, or if we made a recommendation like, okay, yeah, we're going to go this route, or if the mayor and commission's like, go with option C, cross Moore's Grove Road early, there's no guarantee that we will get a lower speed limit. Even if we drop the speed limit, and I say this kind of if anyone's watching, even if we drop the speed limit from 50 to 40 miles an hour, we know that the rate of survival for a vehicular crash with a person is only 15%. At 40 miles an hour, you get hit with a car, it's going 40 miles an hour, it's over. And we know that it's going to take a lot of signaling, something to get people to slow down through here. I just don't feel good about recommending that. And that's not to say that I'm a person about the folks who live along the trail. But we're also not talking about building a road through their backyard or bringing back the train. We're talking about a walking path.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess what I would say is it looks to me like B and C would be a lot more costly in the end than A. So that's one factor. And if that is true, then perhaps there's a way to help the homeowners on A. Maybe there's a way we could make, do something nice for them. I mean, maybe put nice landscaping in, or something.
I don't know, privacy fence. I don't know what options are available, but yeah.
Yeah. So to be clear, staff works with the homeowners on an individual basis to get them what they need once there's an agreement made. So it's very specific. There's no one size fits all solution. They're not just going to be like, okay, we're going to put up a wood fence that's 8 foot high here. It's per property. So they're very sensitive to that.
I think that's really important because, they have a legitimate point of view and a legitimate interest in what we're doing.
Yes, absolutely. And just some perspective on cost. These are really just an analysis, so there's nothing set in stone. There would have to be preliminary designs and then all that good stuff. But as of yesterday, Derek was saying that options A are looking at being more expensive. But when we're talking about more expensive, we're talking about really just $100,000 or $200,000 more expensive in an estimate. Because each one of these routes, they have their own issues. And this is really kind of beyond the scope of Athens in Motion. But the option A, there's stormwater issues that will have to be resolved. Option B, there's a line of trees that will have to be removed, both for temporary construction easement, and there's potentially some buried utility there. And then option C, there are power lines. So they all have their own issues. And when I see a difference in cost of like $100,000 or $200,000, I just don't think anything of it when trail building is $1 million a mile, right?
But
yeah,
we can buy some very nice landscaping and fencing and whatnot, $100,000.
yes. And do you guys remember that comment we got that Hillary and TPW got from the property owner who lived along King Avenue, and there was a sidewalk added there, and how appreciative the homeowner was, and how they said they did such a great job with landscaping and the fencing. So, I mean, we do really good work around here. Okay, so it's almost 6 o'clock, and I want to be respectful of Stephen's time. So it sounds like we have thoughts about this. I'm wondering if someone would be willing to draft a formal recommendation for us to review and submit to the mayor and commission.
I can work on that if and that's for A. Is that our formal recommendation? Just so we're all.
And maybe say that again, Teresa.
I said it sounds like we have a consensus on A.
Now Carol is not here, so Carol will have some thoughts too. But I'm wondering, Aaron, if talk about it from the safety perspective and make sure that we say, if you were to cross Moores Grove Road, here are all the things that you would need to do. You need to fully signalize the policy and recommendations there.
Yeah.
Just get it started. And public comment for this ends January 10th, so we do have some time. So we can get this started and time over the holidays and come back to it at the beginning of the year and wrap it up. So
Okay.
Don't stress about it too much, Aaron.
No, it's okay. I want to put together definitely a good letter. And so, and then Elliot, you said the use on that road is ADT. Sorry, what is that again?
That's basically daily traffic count. So
okay.
It's about, I think it's fluctuated in the last 15 years between about like 4,800 to about 5,800. So almost 6,000. And that's just from RGIS, just from the traffic counter that I've seen.
Okay.
But the last one was taken in like maybe 2017 or early 2018. So it's been a couple of years, and it could be higher, could be lower.
Okay. But yeah, okay. So it's like up to 5,800 vehicles per day using that. Okay. Yep. That's just something good to note in the letter as well. So thanks. Yeah.
That's really useful. Thank you, Elliot. All right, it is 6:01. We probably want to set our next meeting date. There's a cat in my lap. Sorry. How about this? I'm going to email you guys and put out some and I'll CC you, Stephen, and you can let us know what's going to work or not for the next year.
Sure.
Yeah. Or you know what? When's our next Athens in Motion meeting? Because I wonder if we can have a draft with everyone then. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay.
Oh, weren't we doing it on the 15th? Didn't we say that? I can't remember.
I think that's right. I want to pull up my calendar, but I'm being assaulted.
Oh no! I thought we were doing it. Our next one is the 22nd. I thought.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait.
Right. Well, I didn't put it in the calendar. I mean, the 20. Yeah. Okay. So you want to do our little committee meeting before that, obviously. So that would mean,
Oh, no. We don't need to meet before then. I think that we can, let's see how the draft goes with on it, and we can decide to share it then or we'll share it after.
okay,
Okay.
good.
All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you all
Good
for
meeting.
this discussion. I'm going to somehow get out of here. Have a great night. Stay warm.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
See ya. Thank you.